Well, well, well. Good night, good morning, good day, wherever you are on the globe. Welcome to Rebel Radio. I am Desmond Richards, and we are coming to you live from our studios in Rockfort in East Kingston. First of all, I would like to apologize to my viewers and listeners for being absent from the kitchen in the last couple of days, Friday, Wednesday. We had some technical issues and we had some other issues. Our beloved technical operator went down with the flu, and so he had to take some rest. He's back. Very happy to know that he has recovered his strength. And Mario is back with us tonight. And as a result of that, we are coming to you live, and we are full of life this afternoon with your usual plate of mental nourishment. Unfortunately, it is infested. I must say our delicious plate is has some unpleasant ingredients in it tonight. And I am talking about the bloodletting all over the country. Last week, between Saturday and today, we have recorded 358 killings, and we are talking about 358 policemen and women have been killed on duty in Jamaica between 1982 and October as we speak right now. Now that is something that we there's nothing to joke about with that. At the same time, over 40,000 Jamaicans have been murdered. Right? Over the 41 years period. We're not talking from 1962, I'm talking from 1982. So blood is running all over the country. I don't know. To date, I have seen very little signs that the authorities are moving in a direction to bring this situation under control. It is totally out of control, right? The murders. Then you have another situation that is one of the social problems in the country. I am talking about landlessness. You have a lot of commentators, some political supporters who are talking about how it is lawlessness and the government is doing we must stand up against lawlessness. What we must stand up against is the root cause of lawlessness. And you don't have to be an historian to understand that the landlessness in Jamaica has its roots in slavery. And until we address that matter, we will never be in a position to avoid what is described as squatting, right? Human beings need some basic things, and shelter is one of them. Whether you're white, black, or green, or yellow, it doesn't matter. Shelter. And what we must put our collective effort in is finding a solution that will provide shelter for our brothers and sisters. Bulldozers can't work. right? Tough talking can't work. And the political solutions where PNP will use the law in order to protect their supporters, and JLP likewise, that is a recipe for problems, right? So we have the squatting, we have the landlessness, which is one of the prime ingredient of the crime problem, right? And then you have the bloodletting, the security forces can't manage. Now, there is something else that I see climbing, getting very prevalent. Have you seen the number of videos circulating on social media of police and civilians fighting? Have you seen that? Whether it be the traffic cops or those in operations, you look at what is happening. Armed cops fighting with unarmed civilians. Now you know what is likely to happen. I am urging the authorities to step in. Earlier this year, we had a number of incidents of fights, but this was more where soldiers and police were seen on camera boxing and kicking women and men, some pregnant women. Now it has escalated, right? There was one incident in Montego Bay where a cop was stabbed. And I think the attacker, a female, was shot. I don't know if she's alive. No, we have to put the brakes on this, because if we don't, then we are going to end up in a situation where on the streets, more unarmed civilians and cops are going to be engaged in bloody battles. We can't continue like this. Another troubling information is that over a decade, right? Over 15,000 children have been reported missing. I don't know how many of these have been recovered, right? There is one school of thought, and there is some evidence to support the thinking that trafficking is behind the growing list of missing children. So we feel there's a, as I said, a school of thought that these children are being sold into captivity, chattel slavery, right? Modern chattel slavery. Children are being in some cases kidnapped and offered other sweeteners and taken away and sold. Now, there is also a school of thought that says the growing need for human organs in some countries, especially in Asia, that too could be one of the avenues where our missing children are going to be killed and their organs sold. Now, this is not far-fetched, you know. It is not far-fetched because we are living in an environment, global environment, that is very bloody and violent and wicked. So we can't rule out these things. Parents have to be on their alert, not just the police, parents. And then you also have a situation where you have some parents who are in league with the selling of their children. So we have to be, this is a time when we have to keep our guards up. We are in a very wicked environment. Now, so the crime situation, and you know, let me tell you something. The crime situation in Jamaica is something that is hundreds of years old, you know. It is not just a modern phenomenon as some people might believe, right? Um, for example, I just want to read something. In the years 1756 to 1856, that is supposed to be what, 100 years? Homicides averaged 5 per year in Jamaica. In the year 1880 to 1915, the average was 20 per year. 1915 to 1958, it was 25 to 30 per year. So what you have there, a steady increase. And these these years were were not it's not 1980. So you couldn't say it's political violence. What I'm saying is that we have an history where violence has been used overtly and covertly. So the authorities use violence to suppress violence. Civilians are using violence. And therefore, what we have a bloody mixture. And consequently, we have a history, a record, which shows that the use of violence to address violence increased over time, and therefore the statistics will show that murders and violent crimes is something that has been with us for centuries, right? Now, one of the things is that the authorities, I think there is overwhelming research data to show that the methods that we have been using over years to address the crime problem, not working. This culture of violence, and the methodology, the methods that are being used, no, not working, not working. We have to pay more attention to the social situation. We have to provide some more better social, political, and economic situation. We have to clean up the environment so that people can live in peace, can work in peace, can earn in peace. And I am 100% sure that it will have a serious impact on behavior. So long as we are in a situation where 12 people are sleeping in one little 6x6 room, no running water, no proper sanitary facilities, no work, then what the hell do you expect from that? Those of us who pay attention to the lower animals, you will find out what happened in a situation when 12 pigs are fighting over one trough. You just stand up and watch that. And compare that to when each pig has a trough of its own, and see the behavior. And we like to say, we like to compare human behavior. Say, oh, you behave like you're ox. Well, go and watch a situation where the 12 pigs have their own heating troughs, their own drinking troughs, and you watch their behavior. Watch those of us who have dogs at home. Watch what happens when you provide them with their individual heating containers compared to when they are fighting for one bone. Too many people in Jamaica are fighting for one bone right now. That can't work, right? It's totally impossible. And it is a recipe for social disturbance, social upheavals. I think I want to take a break right now. This is Rebel Radio, and I am just giving you my views and telling you of some of the things that are happening. Desmond Richards, I'll be back.
Ever wanted to share what you know about a crime, but were too afraid? At Crime Stop, we make it easy for you to report on crimes safely and 100% anonymously. All it takes is 4 simple steps. First, contact the tip line at 311 or visit www.crimestop.org or www.311tips.com. Then share what you know anonymously with one of our trained counselors. Any information related to criminal activity is accepted. We don't want to know your identity. We don't record calls or use star 69, and there is no way of tracing tips over the phone or online. You'll also be given a file number for your tip. Next, track the progress of your tip by calling our tip line at 311 and quoting your file number. Finally, if your tip leads to success, you will be eligible for a cash reward. Rewards will be paid out upon request through a trusted disbursement agency with verification process to ensure that your identity remains hidden. Share what you know anonymously.
Keep the island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep the island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
the island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. And I have been talking about the crime situation in the country. We have 358 policemen murdered, shot and killed, men and women between 1982 and now, right? And over 40,000 murders over that period. And the blood continues to flow relentlessly. And at the same time, people are fighting for land, nowhere to lay their head. Herbie, are you there? I'm calling to. Are you there, Herbie?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is happening? What is happening in your neck of the woods? I read from reports this week that there was a drive-by shooting in the village.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, listeners and viewers might not know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a very quiet village in the parish of Sainton called Orange Hill. Now, I know that where that drive-by shooting occurred is a place that I know from I was a little boy. That's a place where that I have been on several that shop there. I can say without fear of contradiction that is a shop that helped to provide me with food and drinks as a boy growing up in St. Anne. And I know that the only thing that shop is associated with is selling. And I know the husband of the owner, both of whom are deceased now, was an avid cricketer. Now, Herbie, what the hell is going on in Quiet Orange Hill?
Well, to tell you the truth, at the time, even when it happened close by, very close by where I live, I wasn't at home at the time.
Yes.
I was away from home and on my way back reach Brownstown. That is where I start to gather some news that gunshot is firing in Orange Hill and people died.
Yes.
However, I leave Brownstown not at the same time, but I leave and come up. And when I come up, then I happen to see two men lying on the ground suffering from gunshot wounds.
Yeah.
Which I understand that one of them died on the spot.
Wow. No, I know that. I know. Why in Orange Hill, the only incident I can recall, of a bloody nature, was when that fellow Gilzine chop up about, was it 5 people?
Yeah, man, more.
Yeah, I remember that was a serious incident. I think it was either 5 or 6 people he killed.
Yeah, man, very gruesome attack.
Yeah. Apart from that, that village is unknown. Violence is unknown in that village. But so too it is in other places in the country, Herbie, because, for example, I was talking to somebody from Montego Bay before I came on here, and he was lamenting the level of bloodletting in Hanover. Now, Hanover, when I became a journalist in the early 80s, and I started working at a newspaper called the Jamaica Record, now defunct. One of my duties was to put together the murder numbers at the end of the year, and there are some parishes when I just move them. I don't have to count, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. Thomas, Portland, Manchester. Those parishes, I just put them one side because the only thing you are going to come across is a domestic murder.
Yeah.
Right?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
St. Anne, you have now and then domestic killings, right?
Yeah.
So, and you nowadays.
Well, I can tell you that as far as I know, St. Anne actually was a murder-free parish.
I think you are correct. You are correct. And now St. Anne, the numbers in St. Anne is frightening because of the fact that the parish, we are not accustomed. We are not accustomed to that level of violence at all.
No, definitely not.
Yes, I have my co-host this evening is Theodore Wesley Sumo. Introduce yourself.
My name is Theodore Wesley. You can call me Sumo, but think people are mix it up as my middle name. No offense.
Okay. So what do you think about the murder situation in the country?
Please don't ask me that again. You already know the answer.
What is the answer? I don't know.
Oh yes, you don't know. Kill all the murderers. If the people who kill the murderers don't deserve to go to prison, because they did a good thing.
So your answer to it is to kill the murderers?
Or get rid of them.
Okay.
A less violent way to see it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my 8-year-old co-host solution, Herbie, is that they should kill the murderers.
Get rid of the murders.
I think a lot of people would share those sentiments, Herbie.
All right.
Herbie?
Well, I am on the same path.
You are what?
Yeah, I am on the same track.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, get rid of the murder.
But how? How are we going to get rid of the murder?
Let I answer that question.
Oh, huh?
Huh?
How are we going to get rid of the murder?
Boy. Well, for right now, there's man, I don't even know because we try so many things and they definitely is not working. One of the things me thinking of bringing back is death penalty.
Bring back the death penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well,
It is on the book. So why don't you use it? Why don't they use it? If it is on the book, why don't they use it?
mhm. Well, the former National Security Minister Robert Montague was on that point not too recently, saying that if it is on the books, use it. I mean, and set up gallows, more than one gallows. So, and I know a lot of people, although they might not say it, or they don't have the forum or the platform to say it. But if you ask, I am sure, if a poll was to be conducted tomorrow, asking that question, I think you would have an overwhelming support to bring back the hangman, right?
Yeah, man. You see them younger generation, Desmond, I think we need something with we drive fear in them, because them money heartless and they fearless.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if you know that, I am saying that if you know that when you commit a murder and then catch you and find you guilty, you are going to face the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Then me think, in my head space, me think people would think differently.
You feel so?
Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw me see it.
Yes, but some people are of the view that the social condition in the country is also a reason for one of the drivers of the crime. What do you think about that?
Well, me could have said yes to that,
Yeah.
We could have said yes to that, and the reason why I'm going to say yes to that is that the thing is not structured properly to really curve the youth and guide and give them some form of opportunity.
Yes.
Understand? So, some of them them turn to crime, and turn to violence, and turn to crime, and turn to scamming, and turn to all kind of things. But I think if the right thing is put in place, if they put the right thing in place where we really curve youth them, give them a skill, employment, empower the youth,
Yes.
we think that things would be much better.
Okay. I see. So at the moment, what is the mood in Center now after that drive? I mean not in Center, but in where you are in Orange Hill. What is the?
Well, from where I'm right now, we can say everything seems to be calm down. I don't see nothing afraid of. I don't know what plan, if there is going to be a reprisal or whatever that will happen. Because as far as I am getting the news, this is just a street vibes. It sound like it's a gang thing or a revenge thing or what.
You mean gang in Orange Hill?
Yeah, man.
So you have gangs in Orange Hill?
Well, they have small. No, when we say gang, we mean like youth and youth, where I try to hold turf or I try to make name. And some people say, boy, scamming Kasi. In the street, they are all kind of different things.
Scam. So
We can't give no concrete. We can't give no concrete talk on that because
the scamming is also there.
Yeah, man, it's scamming frequent there.
I didn't know that you have scamming in places like those, though.
Yes, man.
Why this is what the hell you're saying? I didn't know that scamming reached so far.
Yeah, man.
No, but this is
the scamming business escalate all over the place now, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And it's the young people, the younger people. Yes. They are the ones who are involved in this.
I want to tell you, the younger generation are doing.
Yeah.
them indulging in it more than anything else.
I want to talk to some Sister Norma from Cayman. I wonder if she's Sister Norma, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Welcome to Rebel Radio. And welcome to Cool Jamaica. What is happening in your neck of the wood in Cayman Islands?
Well, it is cold and calm.
Cool and calm. No bloodletting.
Pardon?
No bloodletting in Grand Cayman. None. No shooting and like what we're having in Jamaica.
No. We just have accidents and road accidents.
Yes. We were just talking to a brother from St. Ann talking about the fact that there was a drive-by shooting in Orange Hill. And we were talking about the crime generally in the country. I mean, it is shocking. Between Saturday and today, 2 policemen murdered, and several other persons have been shot and killed. I don't know if you must have heard the news.
Yes, I've heard about it.
Yeah. Right. Yes. So what are Jamaicans in Cayman saying about when they hear these shootings in Jamaica?
Well, as you know, I'm retired from station, so your brother can be speak from the station. So you talk to him.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah. Yes, Herbie.
Hello.
Yeah. Who we have on the line? Or Raymond? There's another person from Cayman Islands, another Jamaican who is living in Cayman Islands. Hello?
You know, we're going to speak with you in a moment. But I know
You are muffled. I'm not hearing you.
I'm getting echo.
You're getting what?
Echo.
An echo?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, probably you listen to the Peony Wall that is on the phone because no, because the other caller is in rural Jamaica, you know. So those people who are familiar with rural Jamaica know about the Peony Wall. Is that the sound you are listening to, if you are not familiar with it, is an insect that plays those music at nights.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Desmond, as you know, I'm retired. I stay home
Yes.
like 7 days out of the 7 days. I'm home like 5 or 6 days.
Oh,
So
you're a
Raymond,
housewife then.
yeah.
Yeah. Where's Raymond?
Raymond is on the road 24/7. He's supposed to have a mountain of things to talk about.
Yes. But where is he now? He's on the road.
No, he's gonna speak with you in about 2 minutes or so.
He have to come now, man. This is ear time. we don't have ear time is very expensive, so we don't have a lot of time to waste. So Herbie, what is the news from Muirhouse?
Come again?
What is happening in Muirhouse and Lower Buxton and all those other communities?
Well, some road, Miro, Slow Buxton, we have some very bad road over in them rural area. The road need to fix. Yeah. The people want better road, the people them want better service from the people them who say they are at the top. They not get no visit from the MP them.
Okay.
Yeah, me can tell you that because them place where me visit often times and me say the people them not get no visit, the people them not ball out.
What about water?
Well, them people generally survive from catchment, their own catchment, because Them now have no water leading from Brownstown, which in a minute where we have a pump down there.
Yes.
So the water no reach out to them people they like up in a lower box, in a mirror boxes. So them
Wow.
have to provide their own catchment.
Yeah. So whenever them own catchment run out, them how them manage?
When for them catchment run out now, them have to journey from Brownstown, from Buxton to Brownstown to get water.
That is a 7-mile journey, you know.
And that is very sloppy.
Wow. No, man. In 2022, man, you can't be driving. Yes, so, well, you can take route taxi, don't you?
Yeah.
But even then, 7-mile journey to get some water. That is totally unacceptable, man.
Yeah, man. But so proper catchment can organize up in them places, man.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe them have I believe up in a mirrors box, them have a parish tank up there we need to refurbish.
I remember. Well, I know that tank. I used to carry water from that tank as a boy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that tank, you know, refurbish and fix up so that the people them can get water. Whenever rain fall, them have a good catchment that come off from one hill, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So the thing just want to refurbish and fix up properly, and then the National Water Commission also can truck water to them too when things get low.
Of course. Herbie, thank you for your contribution. Let me see if Raymond, are you there? Hello? Raymond, is Raymond? Do we have Raymond?
Can you hear me? Yes, I'm live.
Thank you for joining me. I was just talking to Herbie in Orange Hill, you know, about the situation. Yeah. And I'm trying to find out, you know, you must have been listening to the news from Jamaica, where I have to say, as usual, the blood continued to flow and the unrest, and yeah. What are Jamaicans in Cayman saying about what is happening at home?
Well, everybody have a concern about what is going on in terms of the high crime rate and what is taking place down there. But I mean, it's everywhere now, so it's an alarming situation. But everybody's asking this same question: is there any solution, or what are the politicians doing to slow down something like this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
From my perspective, I would be thinking that crime is worldwide now, and I think that if the heads of government or people who's in control they can try harder how they have been trying right now.
Mm-hmm.
But my input on it is that anywhere poverty is, crime escalates. And the world is having a problem where people don't want to put out enough so that they can benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
The workforce is crying out for more people to work. And because of that, I would say that crime escalates right around the world right now.
Okay. As you talk about labor, is there a labor shortage in Cayman at this time?
Well, for me, I'm facing a labor shortage right now.
Yes.
So I can't get people to work, and the skill that we need are not on spot here. So we have to turn to other jurisdiction to get people to come in and work, which is creating some problem right now for us.
Okay.
And I would think for many other people.
Okay.
That doing better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what about the I know there was a time when you could recruit Jamaicans to come in and work. What has happened to that?
Well, we're still having people from Jamaica coming to Cayman to work, and like any other part of the world. But for my business that I'm into, it we look forward for to Jamaicans to fill the gap from time to time.
You
We
need
were
special skills, right?
repeat that?
You require special skills in your establishment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for that reason, we depend on people from the Caribbean, like Jamaica and maybe other places, which it is more hard to get them from other places than Jamaica.
Okay.
For one, I think for one reason, Cayman and Jamaica it used to be such a close and tight friendship with both islands that people would prefer to come over here than maybe go to Trinidad or Barbados for that reason.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you can still recruit Jamaicans, then why are you having a shortage of labor?
Well, we have a time limit on people who work here on the funds, which is I would say a 7-year term limit.
Uh-huh.
And whenever that 7 years come to an end, you may get an extension of 2 years.
Yes.
Depends on where you are. And after that, now you are asked to leave and even take a break for maybe a year or more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But one problem we face, I think the last request I made was the reply was that we have to look at a good jurisdiction to get people to come in. I think they explained to me that we have too much Jamaican in the camp.
Oh.
So I need to do a mixture.
Okay.
But we send out international ads, and up to the time we find one Philippine guy from the Philippines. And to my surprise, we have other people who doesn't meet the work requirements, and sometimes the language barrier people from other different countries is that you have to start them all over to really get them where you want.
Okay. So it would be.
And
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
we don't have a training program here for nobody that come here come work. So for you to take people and pay for work permit and train them to work, it left you in a very tight spot.
Yeah. Because you have to train them to use the language, then train them to probably they are not up to speed with their skills.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And for that first 3 years, you may have to go through all of that process, which that sets you back a lot when it come on to the work.
Okay. Yes, I see. So it would be quite easier, more economical, more efficient to bring in people from the. Good. Well, we are talking to Raymond. We are talking to Raymond from the Cayman Islands. He's a Jamaican living in the Cayman Islands. And as you can hear, we started talking about social situation, then goes off into the work situation. Raymond, are you back with us?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
No, I was just explaining to my viewers and listeners that you are a Jamaican who operates a business in Cayman. You employ Jamaican and other Caribbean labor. And you are now encountering problems fulfilling, getting workers.
Yeah.
So you're saying the government has told you, and if that's the case, probably have told other employers that they need to, in other words, too many, they feel that too many Jamaicans are working in Cayman?
Well, I wouldn't say on an overall basis, but I can speak for myself.
Yes.
The response I get, that is what I'm sharing with you.
Okay. I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but I would imagine that other people out there facing the same problem
mm,
as I talk to other business people on a day-to-day basis.
yeah.
So,
I know Cayman depends a lot on tourism. Is there any, do you know if there's a shortage of workers in the tourism sector over there too?
well, for right now, tourism is not at its peak right now because of the pandemic we just faced and the lockdown and everything like that. But I wouldn't say that for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's a shortage right now because, as I said, we're just coming out of a situation with the pandemic, and I think the gaps them are just started to fill back up.
Okay.
So I think for right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think for right now, they are not interested in getting people from outside the jurisdiction right
Okay. Well, brother man,
now.
I can, all I can urge you to do is continue to push along,
Well,
and So what else? What you would like to share with us at this time?
well, I must say, Cayman is one of the islands that anybody or everybody would like to come and have a piece of it because it is one of the safe haven right now in terms of crime and violence. The economy is booming right now with the construction and many other things going on right now which keep the economy going.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say business on a whole is doing well.
Yes.
So when you have a country booming with the construction, then construction have so much, so much. I mean, offer so much to the economy that everybody benefit from it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are building over there now? Is it hotels, houses, business places? What?
Apartments, hotels, and many other things like myself trying to put up a 12,000 square foot building right now, which is warehouse. And
Mm-hmm.
so many buildings going on in different and
Okay.
yes.
So that is, you are telling us, and my listeners and viewers, and I hope Jamaicans can take up that opportunity to seek employment in Cayman. Isn't that a open field right now? Is that what you're telling me?
I wouldn't say that because as I said they are clamping down on the amount that is coming in from Jamaica.
Okay.
So I would want to think that apart from me, I think other people may hear the same, get the same news that hey, you need to seek other jurisdiction people to work.
But Raymond, tell me something. From what do you believe is behind this? I- Why are they
Well,
clamping down on the number of Jamaicans um, seeking employment in Cayman Islands?
well, there could be more than one reason. 'Cause you don't want them, you don't want your country to get overpopulated with one different nationality, which I think Cayman hosts like maybe about 140 different nationality right now. If it's that low, I don't have a head count on it, and from
Mm-hmm.
but my assumption is about that, and I think Jamaica top the list in the amount.
Jamaica is the highest number?
Yeah, I would want to think so.
Oh, okay. because I only hope that they are not using the violence in Jamaica as a reason for clamping down on Jamaicans, honest Jamaicans who are seeking to earn a honest bread. You don't think that is part of it?
No, I wouldn't think that is a part of it because we all know that bad eggs are anywhere you go, bad eggs are there. And I would be glad if they try to prevent the people that is of bad head to come here
Uh-huh.
because that wouldn't put me in a good position being here for over 30 years and doing a lot of community work. I get along well with the people them, and I do what I have to do. I serve everybody on the island by service. And I don't have no line to draw against anyone.
Hmm.
I do have business for everybody.
Right.
And I know that we have bad people turn up from Jamaica who try to make things look very ugly on our side, but you can't use one and judge all.
No.
But I would glad if they find a way to prevent or to get all the bad eggs out of the basket.
Okay, sir. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
don't, I don't, I don't think that is a reason why why they come up with that. My assumption is that the overpopulated situation with the numbers of people. But as a business person, wherever you can get people to work from, that's where you want because we deal with cars and people here take pride in their car. And whenever we get cars to work from, we want to make sure say, we give them good job.
Okay.
And over the years we have some of the most top class body man from out of Jamaica. I've never come up with somebody out of another jurisdiction that fit the qualification with body work as Jamaica.
Wow. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I
yes.
have never come across. Now, I work with people from England, St. Lucia, Canada, America, Jamaica, doing body work here. And I
Yes.
have never, never comes up, come up on anybody that can fit the qualification as what Jamaica have in terms of preparing. But
That no, no,
that,
that yes. Go ahead,
yeah,
go ahead.
I wouldn't put mechanic in it, but for body work, body repair and painting
Yeah,
cars.
yeah.
I, I think we're rated in the Caribbean as the best.
That is very good news. So you see, listeners and viewers, that even when we, as the brother said, there are some bad eggs among us, but in Cayman Islands, he's telling us that Jamaicans are on the top list of body men to work on motor vehicles in that island. So there's a lot of positive things about Jamaica. It's just it is just don't it is not just negatives. And right here at home, you have some of those excellent workmen. And when they go abroad, and I am certain that in the United States they are showing off these skills also. I'm very positive.
Yeah.
Wherever they are.
Yes,
Well,
of course. I went to Brooklyn and visit a few shops of the body shop, and that was one of the recommendations that I got with the top class body man working in those shops up there.
yes.
And I'm pretty much sure for other places, because people left Jamaica, go to Japan, go to body work, you know.
You mean that?
Yeah, man. I come up on more than one person who went to Japan and do body work over
Wow. Yes, yes. No, that is certainly an exciting and positive note on which to say very, very thank you, Mr. Raymond, for contributing to Rebel Talk, Rebel Radio this evening. And you know, we are certainly going to have more further discussions with you. Have a good night. This is Rebel Radio.
Ever wanted to share what you know about a crime, but were too afraid? At Crime Stop, we make it easy for you to report on crimes safely and 100% anonymously. All it takes is 4 simple steps. First, contact the tip line at 311 or visit www.crimestop.org or www.311tips.com. Then share what you know anonymously with one of our trained counselors. Any information related to criminal activity is accepted. We don't want to know your identity. We don't record calls or use star 69, and there is no way of tracing tips over the phone or online. You'll also be given a file number for your tip. Next, track the progress of your tip by calling our tip line at 311 and quoting your file number. Finally, if your tip leads to success, you will be eligible for a cash reward. Rewards will be paid out upon request through a trusted disbursement agency with verification process to ensure that your identity remains hidden. Share what you know anonymously.
Keep we island clean and so clean. From the peaks to the beach and so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean and so clean. From the peaks to the beach and so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick, and if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics lasts forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean and so clean. From the peaks to the beach and so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Welcome back to Rebel
Hello.
Radio. Hello, hello. Welcome to Rebel.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, who is this? Professor Hutton?
Hello.
Professor Hutton?
Hello.
Professor Hutton?
Hello.
Who do we have? We have Lloyd. Well, in this section, we are going to be discussing landlessness. You know, the situation with landlessness in the country. Hundreds and millions of thousands of people are living in gullies, no land. People and the government strategy over the years has been a failed one to bully the people. We are going to be talking to Professor Clinton Hutton and Lloyd D'Aguilar. Lloyd, Professor?
Yes,
Yes, who do we have? Is this Professor? This is Professor Hutton?
This is I.
Okay, we have Professor Hutton.
I'm hearing you.
Okay. Lloyd, are you there?
yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right, okay. And my co-host I have my co-host this evening.
Theodore Sumosley.
Yes, I have a very young co-host with me. Well, gentlemen, in the discussion leading up to now, you know, we were talking about the violence in the country. But now we want to talk about the landlessness and the impact, the impact this is having, negative impact this is having on the people in the country. Professor, I want to start. I want you to open the bowling. What do you think is the solution, and how we have been dealing with this problem over the years?
Well, the fundamental problem with land distribution in Jamaica, since emancipation, 1838, has not changed. The fundamental architecture of land ownership and land distribution in Jamaica has not changed. And what is required is a government with the political will to bring such a change,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
It is incumbent on the Jamaican government to right the historical wrong that was done to people of African descent for 329 years of enslavement in Jamaica, in which they were not permitted to own land. In fact, they had the same status as the land, property for the crown, the colonial state, and property for the planters and merchants and pen keepers.
Uh-huh.
That fundamental architecture remains 100 years after emancipation. Marcus Garvey wrote in his newspaper in 1934 about this issue. He says that after emancipation, the formerly enslaved people of African descent, quote, were set loose upon the world without a cent in their pockets or a bit of land to settle on that they could call their own.
Wow.
From the beginning, they have had to fight their way up to where they are today.
Yes. Yes.
Some have done well, but the great majority are almost where they came from, where were when they came off the plantation. They are propertyless,
yes,
and almost helpless.
Right.
This is 100 years of emancipation.
Yes, yes.
And the point is that from Africans were free from the shackle, there has always been a struggle for land, because with land was the main form of capital in the country, and for people who have worked for many generations without being able to pass on to their children and their children's children the wealth created by their labor. They have struggled time and time for generation from emancipation into the 21st century.
Yes, sir.
It was
Yes,
not
sir.
a year when there was not an issue relating to land that arc back to enslavement and
Yes,
the 100 years after that
yes,
led to independence.
yes, yes,
It's a persistent problem,
yes,
and we have not had the type of change that is required to remove the enslaved, the slavery and post-slavery colonial land structure in Jamaica.
right. Lloyd, you want to come in? Lloyd, what is your take?
Yes, well, Clinton has laid the foundation, the historical foundation for where we are. And let's start with 1962. England, Britain, whatever you want to call them, gave independence, and they gave the crown lands to the new government. If you remember, in the 1944, I think the elections that started, you had the PNP and the GLP, you had Bustamante and you had Manley, and they were middle and upper class people, and they were committed to the economic system, to the land system. They negotiated with the British, and in '62 they became independent, and the two political parties have been ruling the country ever since. But both of them are committed to crown lands. They are committed to the landlord class. They were committed to the sugar holding, sugar manufacturers, and so on. And so therefore, what they have done is to continue the policy that started with the British when the British ended slavery and made sure that the ex-slaves don't get the land, because if they get land, they can't work on the sugar, they won't go on to work on the sugar plantations.
Yes.
And the sugar plantations continue to exist because that's the way of making money. So we have to fast forward to where we are today. The landless situation, the land problem still exists. You have a minority of people who own vast sections of the available land. You have the government owning crown lands, and you have the vast majority of the people who want to farm, who can't get the land to farm. And then you have people who want to build a house and they don't have no land. And the only way you can build a house is if you can buy the land. And the only way you can farm is if you can buy the land. And we're not in a position to buy land to build housing and to farm.
Yes.
So what is required? It means that we need a revolutionary land reform policy. We need a policy of land for the landless. It means that we need a government that is prepared to take over the entire land system in Jamaica and give those land to those who need it, and be able to scientifically, let us say, begin to address agriculture and those who want to plant and so on, so that we can reduce the import bill for agriculture, and we can feed ourselves, and we can move forward. But until we have political ruling power, political government, or a class in power that is willing to address this land problem in a radical kind of way, like they did in Cuba. When the Cubans made their revolution, the government decided to say, look, we're going to take over the whole of the land, and we're going to plan the land structure. Those who need land, we're going to give it to them. We're going to coordinate the agriculture, and we're going to assist people in building housing and so on, so that you don't have homeless people You know, you don't have people who are sleeping in the rain and being washed away with the floods and so on. So
Right.
that is politically, it's a political issue and it's a political solution. And we, the people, have to begin to stand up and say we need land for the landless.
Right.
And if we have to nationalize, expropriate the land, and we plan land distribution and agriculture and housing and so on. That's the only way we can do it. If we don't do that, then this thing will be perennial. It will continue and continue down the road.
I want
We
to
need
ask.
land for the land.
I want to ask both of you gentlemen one question. Is that where we are now? Both of you have laid the foundation. Where we are now, what kind of solution? And I mean solution that is people oriented, that you think is necessary now for us to move forward. Professor, I want you to deal with that.
I didn't hear anything from Lloyd. I mean, I am hearing you, but I am not hearing Lloyd.
You didn't hear.
And I don't know if Lloyd is hearing me at all.
Lloyd, are you hearing? Are you hearing, Professor?
Yes, I'm hearing him. I'm hearing him very well. I'm hearing him very well.
Well, we have to sort out that. But Professor, what both of you, as I said, laid very strong foundation as to the genesis of the problem. Now I am asking, what do you think is needed now to move forward as a solution so that we can solve this problem? Starting with you, Professor.
One person from the Bernard era involved in this present crisis says we have to live somewhere. We can't live in the middle of the road or in the sea or in the air.
Right.
You don't want it put better than that.
No. Right.
So that is a very powerful statement.
Yes.
We require a government to carry out the type of policy that will put land, calculatedly land in the hands of families, so that the reality will come, will be realized if we are to believe the statement by this man.
Yes.
And the solution, as in our history has shown, cannot be partisan.
No, it can't.
Cannot be political partisan. And that's a tendency at the minuscule type of reforms that were done.
Yes.
The major reform was in the 1970s.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right? That is the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Right? We have to learn from that and go beyond that.
Yes.
Right? We see, for example, where the rational use of land, for example, where take a place like Prairie. Prairie was hundreds of acres of arable agricultural land.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a housing estate.
Yes.
So the rational use of the land, we see many people are squatting on riverbanks.
Yes. Are you there? We lost Professor.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Professor. Bring back the professor one. Lydie, you are there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here.
Mm-hmm. So I asked the question. I said, what are some of the solutions you think that we should, the government and the people should embark on now in order to bring some end or to bring some solution to this landlessness in the country?
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying
The
before,
other side of it.
um,
Yes, Professor. I brought in, we lost you for temporarily, but we brought in, Lydie was on the floor. Just allow him to complete. Yes, Lydie, go.
Is more
yes,
concentrate.
well,
Yes.
let me continue. What was happening recently with this land problem, right?
Yes.
Both sides, established their commitment to private property. Both of them says we are in favor of private property. And I think private property is really what the issue is. Crown land is owned by the government. The government has no land reform policy. And then you have the big landowners who own the land. And if you want the land from them, you have to buy it.
Yes.
The people who are landless, who want to farm, don't have the money to buy the land. So therefore, we need a new land policy where the state is going to have to step forward, and the state is going to have to say, boy, we're going to have to nationalize the land, and then we will come up with a plan to give land to the landless, to give land to people who need to farm, etc. Because if that doesn't happen, there will be no solution to the problem as far as these two political parties are concerned. What is also now necessary is that we have to build a movement amongst the people demanding land, so that in Loidas Vale and Bernard Lodge and wherever else the people are, we have to begin to reach out to them to say, organize yourself, demand land. If you have to take over the land, you take it over, and then let the government have to begin to deal with that politically. Because constitutionally, you have a right to take care of your social needs, because the Constitution says you have a right to social security. And if the government is not doing that, then the people have a right to step forward and do what is necessary to solve the problem. And as far as I am concerned, I don't see PNP or I don't see GLP being able to address this problem.
Hold on there, Lydie. Lydie, hold on there. Lydie, hold a second
Yes.
there. Professor, you share Lydie's prescription? Professor? Hello? Professor? I don't know why I'm not hearing the professor. Lydie, are you hearing me?
Yes, man, I'm hearing you very well.
Professor? Bring back Professor, man. I don't know what is happening there. Professor? Look as if we're having some technical issues. But Lydie, continue.
Yes, in 1938, when the workers laid down their tools and so on, and they start to organize all over the country in the sugar estates, or Westmoreland, St. Thomas, and so on, and in Kingston, and they begin to mobilize and organize themselves. There was also a land reform movement that was organized as well.
Yes.
And they were demanding land as well, In the 1970s, the PNP under Michael Manley had what they call a land lease program. But it was very marginalized and marginal, and it didn't really solve the land problem. I think it was about 22,000 farmers who got, maybe 1 or 2 acres. And there was also the problem of being able to, the technical needs to farm and so on. And so it didn't really solve the problem. So you really need state investment in agriculture as well, so that if the people need tools and if the people need to engage in irrigation and so on, that the state is going to assist them. And if the state assists them, then we will reduce the food import bill.
Right.
And we will be able to solve that problem. That is a very serious and very pressing problem. So unless we move away from this preoccupation and this worshipping of private property, remember now, the land, all the land in Jamaica is captured land. This land was captured from the Taínos,
Yes.
right? The Taínos, the so-called Arawaks. When the Spanish and then the British came, they took the land away from them, right? So all of the land that we're living on is captured land.
Yes, of
And
course.
those who captured the land passed on, some of the land to their I wouldn't say their ancestors, but their descendants.
Yes.
And their descendants and, economically business connected people control the land. So why is it that we're talking about private land? It should be land for the landless. We should recognize that this land, all the land in Jamaica, is captured land. And so
Right.
therefore we should rationally sit down, the people, the government, and we say, well, listen, let us look at this thing rationally. Not just talk about who own and who don't own. Because if you do it that way, it is always about money. And we
Yes.
know the descendants of slavery never got compensated. It was the slave masters who were compensated.
Absolutely.
And they and the police and the army was there to protect them and to make sure, say, the ex-slaves don't capture land and so on and so forth, because you need them to work on the plantations.
All
And
right,
that
Lady,
model continues
Lady,
to where we are today.
we are going to
Yes.
take a break. We are going to take a break. And
Okay.
when you come back, we want to talk about how we can organize the political representatives to join in this struggle
Okay.
to
All right.
provide land for the landless. This is Rebel Radio, and we are talking landlessness to Lloyd D'Aguilar and Professor Clinton Hutton. Don't go away. Desmond Richards. Welcome back to Rebel Radio. You know, we're discussing this burning and disturbing issue in Jamaica. We're talking about landlessness, and that affect hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans. We're talking to Professor Clinton Hutton and social activist, journalist Lloyd D'Aguilar. Gentlemen, are you there? Hello?
I am here. I
Yes.
am here.
Professor, are you there? Professor? Hello? All right, Lloyd. Professor?
Yes.
Yes,
Professor, you are there?
yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, right. No, I was saying before we took the break that what ways, how can the masses, the people, organize and agitate and also mandate their representatives, their political representatives, to get involved so that they can bring the kind of political power that is necessary to get things going. Professor, you go with it.
No, these are issues that folks individually, but more important, collectively,
Yeah.
in organizations, workers, community organizations, youth organizations, youths who want to be engaged in agriculture, and people who need space to live. This is a perennial problem,
Yes.
but it can't be dealt with on the basis that your party will bring it. The issue is, how do you build your collective strength in your communities, in your citizens association, in your church groups, in all the ways and means at your disposal that you're organized,
Mm-hmm.
to raise in a conscious, no nonsense way the issue of land and the relationship with how you will vote in
Mm-hmm.
relation to what the parties or individuals you vote for will do. How do you shape the manifesto of your representatives
Yes,
or
yes.
the people who are coming to you for them to represent you? Otherwise, we will have the same thing year after year. They come to your place, same thing with the roads. They come to your place to get your vote. They don't really raise any serious issues, especially nowadays. They don't really raise serious issues. So that after the election, it's the same old thing again. Land issue is a central issue in Jamaican social and political life. It's a central issue relating to citizenship. As we speak, more and more of our beaches are being taken over. And it is being allowed by political representatives.
By the state, Professor.
That we have.
Yeah.
Right? So the issue will be solved based on the seriousness of the people.
Yes.
The people need to realize that their votes are important. They need to realize that anybody coming to them to pay them for votes, they don't mean them any good and they don't have any respect for them.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Yes.
So our people have to get serious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Life is not just food.
Right.
The land issue is important because it is central to the issue of housing.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And the colonial authorities know from the correspondence I've read in documents that they have researched They knew from in fact, before emancipation and after emancipation, that black people should be denied land because they associate. One of the reasons they deny black people land was that if they have the land, there's a relationship with land as the main form of property and voting. And their pronouncement was that if they allow black people to get land, soon, very soon, with their predominance in the population, they will get out the white planter class
True.
and assume political power.
Yes.
It was clearly stated by governors of Jamaica, by colonial secretaries. This is the issue of land. And every decade since emancipation to this time, the issue of land was never outside of the agenda of ordinary Jamaican folks. But know that they can live in the middle of the road, and they can live in the air, and they can live in the sea.
But Professor, we have political power now. Blacks have political power.
Yes, we do.
Yes, so now that we have political power, why we can't use that political power to ensure that we have shelter over our heads?
As long as the people, you see, being serious in one's political life or the country's political life as a citizen cannot mean that you put up with political actors coming to you for your vote and then you don't see them again until the next election.
Yes.
It cannot mean that they make promises to get your vote and then all you're seeing is either the minuscule land reform that is taking place, it is done in a partisan fashion.
Yes.
Right? Because partisanship in that sense is a division of the people to control them.
Absolutely.
If the people are not conscious enough to realize these facts after how much 100 years, then it will continue for a while to come.
Right. Lady, how can we get...
It's really a serious issue.
Yeah, Lady, how can we get the people... You heard what the professor said, that the people are... We need to... We need some political education. Lady, how can we get the people to be conscious about this situation of landlessness? Lady, what do you think about that?
Well, we have had a political deficiency in this country for a very long time. The trade union movement is fairly conservative.
Yes.
There have been, I think, 2 general strikes in the history of this country, right? The last one, I think, was in the 1980s under the Seaga government when they, there were some land situation and wage situation, and there was a 1-day general strike. 1 day the general strike. And then the respective unions went back to work and so on. There never has been a general strike like what happened in 1938 in this country. The 2 political parties are in power, and there really have never been a serious third party, right? There was the Workers' Party of Jamaica, but the Workers' Party of Jamaica fizzled. It really wasn't a very serious political party. So really what we need is a radical political party that is going to unite the workers and going to unite the small farmers or the peasants or the landless people and try and change the whole system. And that is what is really lacking and what is needed. So there is a tendency in Jamaica to blame the people And I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that because when I turn on my TV at nighttime and I look at the news, I see right across the rural areas every night, you
Yeah.
see protests going on over landlessness, over flooding, lack of you not picking up the garbage, you are oppressing the vendors, you're doing all kind of stuff, right? As a matter of fact, I would say, based on what I see, the people in the rural areas are far more radical than what is going on in the urban areas.
Yes. Yes.
So don't curse the people and say, boy, you know, them don't want to fight. That's not true. What we are lacking is political leadership. We're lacking is political organization. What we're lacking is the need to be able to critique the two political parties that exist.
Yeah.
And I remind people that not so long ago, the Gleaner had an editorial. And in that editorial, the Gleaner said, we have two gangs in parliament. And the two gangs in parliament have never really challenged the Gleaner over that statement that we have two gangs in parliament.
Yes.
And we know historically that these two political parties have been connected to gangs in inner cities. And we know that there's a connection between them and the violence and so on. So we need to begin to take a radical position towards the two political parties that unless we really take them to task and we really say, listen, you are not giving land to the landless because you are connected to the landlord class and you are yourself benefiting from the land situation, then they're not going to take you seriously, and you need to be able to spread that amongst the people so that if the people in Lloyd'sville or Bernard Lodge or wherever decide that they're going to take over the land, we must support them. We must say it is their right to take over the land and to farm it, and the state has no right to be able to send bulldozer and to send army and police in there to take over the land from them. I believe that that is the kind of political dialogue that we need to begin to have in this country. We need to be able to step it up. And if we don't step it up, then the powers that be are going to continue to keep people landless. And the same thing is going to continue over and over and over. And there's going to be no political change.
All right, gentlemen.
That is
Gentlemen, I tell you what. I tell you what. This discussion is so rich that we have to continue. Professor, I want to give you the last couple moments of this for you because we are running out of time. So, gentlemen, I would like to say to you that we have to bring you back. Bring you back next week when we will continue this discussion because Rebel Radio is willing to join in that struggle so that we can get some land for the people. I want to thank you very, very much, Professor and Lloyd.
Yes.
We had Lloyd D'Aguilar and Professor Clinton Hutton talking about landlessness in the country. This is a discussion to be continued. This is Rebel Radio. Don't move.
Ever wanted to share what you know about a crime, but were too afraid? At Crime Stop, we make it easy for you to report on crimes safely and 100% anonymously. All it takes is 4 simple steps. First, contact the tip line at 311 or visit www.crimestop.org or www.311tips.com. Then share what you know anonymously with one of our trained counselors. Any information related to criminal activity is accepted. We don't want to know your identity. We don't record calls or use star 69, and there is no way of tracing tips over the phone or online. You'll also be given a file number for your tip. Next, track the progress of your tip by calling our tip line at 311 and quoting your file number. Finally, if your tip leads to success, you will be eligible for a cash reward. Rewards will be paid out upon request through a trusted disbursement agency with verification process to ensure that your identity remains hidden. Share what you know anonymously.
Keep we
Contact
island
Crime
clean and so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. We're talking about landlessness and its impact on hundreds and the lives of hundreds of thousands of black Jamaicans. And we had a very rich discussion a while ago with Professor Clinton Hutton and Lloyd D'Aguilar. Now we have UNIA activist Tony Matthews with us. Tony, are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Yes. I don't know if you were listening to the program a while ago, but we had a very rich discussion with Professor Clinton Hutton and journalist and social activist Lloyd D'Aguilar. Now I know you have very strong views, but Tony, what are we going to do to address this burning problem?
Well, it's not what we are going to do, is what needs to be done. It's not a matter of what we're going to do. If we don't do it, we're going to continue in this consistent problem of people blocking roads and people advocating for land.
Yes.
But the whole idea of owning land goes right back to just after the British came here, Pen and Venables.
Yes.
I mean, when they introduced slavery to this country, remember, the entire Jamaica belonged to the crown. So every square inch of land in the island of Jamaica was owned by the crown.
Absolutely.
So when slavery started, after the demise of the Carib, the Taino, and the Arawak Indians in this region, slavery now was their answer to replacing a source of labor that wouldn't cost them nothing.
Yes.
Having brought people to this country to work on the land, and the fruits of the land made their empire rich beyond means. Well, I mean, the wealth of Britain today, when you walk down Piccadilly Circus and you see all these buildings in Soho and all these places, you wonder.
Yes.
How is it that black people still so poor and came from the richest continent?
Yes.
So the problem of land ownership was made for law.
Right.
Black people wasn't supposed to own land.
Yes.
They were supposed to be, used and if you for want of a better word, expendable.
Yes.
Once we were no longer valid, then just discard.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up in a situation where in 1838, when I'm saying abolished slavery after 400 years,
yes,
there were masses and masses of black people illiterate in terms of the language that they were right. And so what do? masses of illiterate people with actually no real big skills except the ability to use a cutlass to cut cane.
Yes.
It means therefore that you're starting you're gonna start a life as a free man, quote unquote free, with no way of earning a living because the means of earning a living was still the purview of the white man, the cane, sugar cane, cotton in America. It's the same thing. So you would have to, in actual fact, look back to them to find a way to earn a living in order to get to the point where you can procure land.
Yes. We
How is that?
yeah, we have been joined by Akashaka Muso Menelik. Menelik, are you there? Yes. We have our brother Tony Matthews, and as you know, we are on this topic of landlessness and the impact on the lives of black poor people in the country. You know, Tony just raised a point a while ago, Menelik, that we must do something. It is no longer a question of what are we going to do. We must do something. What is that something from your point of view, Menelik?
Well, we have to start to agitate for the rights of all poor black people in the country. And we are actually starting an organization known as Land for the Landless.
Land for the
And we
landless.
are open to, yes, and we are open to have our first meeting next Wednesday. We are trying to find a location.
Yes.
But it is a must. We have to right the wrongs of history because people who born as the United Nations Charter of Rights tell you, you must live somewhere. You must have a place of abode.
Yes.
You cannot live in the sky and you can't live on the ocean.
Yes.
So you must have a piece of land where you call your home.
But
And you see, we are perpetuating the wrongs that the English did. When they came, they stole the land from the Indians who were domiciled in Jamaica at the time. And they now put a system in place where only the English and the lords and the ladies could own land. Black people were excluded from owning land. We have to remember 1865, the Morant Bay Rebellion came out of land ownership.
I hope the authorities remember that. And Tony, it would appear to me, but gentlemen, I want to ask one question. What do you make of this? The Prime Minister went into Parliament and told the nation that gangs are selling land in Clifton. And the first arrest out of investigation is the principal of a school in his constituency. I wonder if, was she a member of the gang?
Well, it's not, you see, the thing with situations like that is they themselves are going to start their campaign to distance themselves from that reality. So we won't call it that she was part of a gang. She was probably more a part of a privileged inner circle that was privy to insider information and gives her she operates under the aegis that she thinks she will be protected if there should be any kickback, which is exactly what is happening here now. The investigation has led to her, but how many other people of her caliber in other institutions that might be part and parcel of this as time goes by, other names will probably be called. Once the investigation begins, then it will begin to reveal itself as to how the cover-ups will start.
Yes.
But of course, something can happen accidentally. And then something that happens, and it would look like a coincidence. But if it happens 3 times, 9 out of 10 times, your best bet would be that it was orchestrated. It was purpose.
But gentlemen, you see how because the absence of a organized land reform system, you see how it perpetuates itself to all in all directions. Because first of all, if you have an organized land reform program, then it becomes very difficult for bandolos to operate selling state land and private other people's land. It will become very difficult for that to happen.
That's central. A policy that governs all the distribution of the selling of the management of and how what process one would need to follow to procure land would be across the board.
Yes.
As it is, in certain areas, black people can't even buy land because once they reclassify lands as for industry, or them classified for farming, or them reclassified, it automatically takes it out of the purview of the vast majority of the working class person.
Yes.
So, the policy should have been here a long time ago. Not something we should be thinking about in 2022 when we are about to claim that we are celebrating 60 years of independence.
Gentlemen, we are out of time, but let me just assure you that that organization, Menelik, Land for the Landless, I want you to enlist Rebel Radio as a member of that organization. I want you to do that. We must.
We certainly will. We'll let you have all the information.
Of course, certainly. And gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. Because listen, this issue we cannot drop it. This must never be. It must not be a 9-day wonder in the country. No.
Precisely so. Precisely so.
Yeah.
And it won't be.
No, we will not allow that to happen. I want to thank you very, very much, gentlemen. Talking to UNIA members and activists there, Tony Matthews and Aisha Kamusu Menelik. And we are on this issue of landlessness in the country. Earlier on, we talked to Professor Clinton Hutton and journalist and activist Lloyd D'Aguilar. And as we said, we are going to continue this fight. We are going to fight until we get some land for our people. This is Rebel Radio. And I am Desmond Richards, and my co-host